Hey gang, what y'all on?
Alright man, so how you doing, man? What's going on with you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. What you go by?
I go by Mk Enzzo.
How you get that name?
So I came up with the name Mk Enzzo. So MK, I'm standing for Money Crazy, which is a little clique or whatever from back home. Where really my niggas anywhere we go. And then Enzo just was like one of my favorite cars I ever had. So never had. So that's just something that I want to achieve. So I just put it together. Mk Enzzo.
Okay, where you from?
I'm from Gary, Indiana, 219. You feel me?
How was it growing up out there in Gary, Indiana?
I guess typical story of any inner city of a black community, truthfully. It was rough, poverty, pretty much nothing to do but to get into bullshit. Trouble is just right around the corner. Anything you need, anything you want, from any type of drugs, you can get it, guns, same. So it's just like any other place, man, truthfully.
Do you feel like the city that you from influenced the music that you make now?
Oh, definitely influenced the type of music I make now. And then not to mention my brothers and them used to make music too, so they definitely influenced me heavily. And then I just always looked up to people that take this very seriously, such as like Jay-Z's and T.I.'s. So some of my favorites. That definitely helped.
Would you say in the rap game inspires some of your music? You see what I'm saying? Some of your favorite artists that helped Mk Enzzo be created?
Inspiration is a big word. So, my favorite rapper is T.I. I fuck with the game. His lyrics is crazy as hell. Meek Mill, one of my favorite rappers. J. Cole, of course. Rick Ross, very slept on in my opinion, lyrically. Of course, Jay-Z, Biggie, and Tupac, things in that nature,
right.
But definitely, I don't want to make it seem like it's cliche because he passed or whatever, but I really was messing with Nipsey Hussle way before, before the tragedy happened and everything, so he definitely was the person I always loved his ambition and his drive and his hustle, truthfully.
Yeah, with Nipsey Hussle, he did a lot of things for his city and, just his community, So how do you feel that growing up in your city, how did that affect your music? Because like with Nipsey Hussle, like growing up where he was from, a lot of his music was inspired off of where he was from and, growing up in the environment that he was in. How do you feel that your city, inspired and, affected the music that you create?
Really affect me and more so made me want to, do more, do better because it was just always around less in a way. So the poverty there, really it's just abandoned homes like every other home or whatever, and everybody just really stayed on bullshit. So I always wanted to go a different way. Not trying to say I'm a weirdo, I want to do weird things. They doing that, they want to do over there. I wanted to do better, have better because
that's growth.
Yeah, it's growth. And then my mother always taught me, just stay out of trouble and always want to progress in your life. And you not doing nothing if you still in the same position that you're in and you don't like it and you still there, so you're not doing it.
Did you feel like doing music kind of kept you busy when you was living there in that city, dealing with some of the things that you were dealing with at the time?
For sure.
Did you feel like it just kind of kept your mind focused?
Yeah. When I first got into music, I was about maybe 12 or whatever. I was still hooping as well, so
okay.
So hooping and music was an outlet. Again, I don't want to sound cliche, but that's just something that's how it was. So anytime I go hoop, had a ball. Anytime I was making music, had a ball. So it was just an escape from reality and everything. And then if I'm not doing one of those two, either I was in school or in the streets doing some dumb shit.
How long have you actually been making music?
So I've been making music for, 20 years now, probably? Not 20 years. Not 20 years, I'm tripping. I'm really tripping, my bad, y'all.
20 years?
Nah, it's 17 years or something like that.
How are you? How old are you?
I'm 27 years old.
Okay, so you have been doing it for quite a bit.
Yeah, so truthfully, my first rhymes was when I was 10. I still got the rap and everything, but I won't share that with y'all right now. Maybe a future, when I'm a little bigger, then I can just ponder on it or whatever. But yeah, first rounds was at 10. Was in the studio a lot around 12 because my brothers and them had a studio. So been doing it for at least 17 years.
How many projects do you think you have in your archive that you've made?
that I made.
That you actually made and has been put out.
Actually been put out?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually made is different from what I actually put out. So I put out at least 4 projects.
Okay.
One was MKPC, which was our group, Money Crazy Power Circle, which was called Basquiat, and then I made 3 mixtapes on my own. Truth and Lies, Is Money Your Religion, and also Tired of Being Poor. And now I'm working on my other one called Certified in Person. So I got about maybe 67 projects, because it was a few projects beforehand, before the MKPC and everything we never put out. We just got music on top of music.
Okay. I heard you mention Money Crazy Power Circle. That's your label?
Yeah, so that's actually a joint thing or whatever. Really, all our homies put it together. So yeah, I'm part CEO of Money Crazy Power Circle.
How many artists is it underneath the label?
So far it's 4 right now, which is Savage J, actually MK Juwella now. I'm sorry about that. MK Juwella. We got Smokey MK, and not to mention Band Up MK and myself. So that's 4.
So what's the process like when you making the actual song? Like when you get in the studio, what are essentials that you need, to actually get the right vibe, to make the right song? Like, does the mood that you in determine the song that you make?
Yeah, always. And then I don't know, I'm just one of those persons that's very musically, how people always say, I don't want to aim for no hit, no hit, or I don't want to do this. Sometimes I go into the studio and be like, you know what, I'm thinking about making a hit. Let's try to aim for something that's universal. I always try to be versatile and actually switch it up. So it depends on the mood, of course. So if I'm in a certain mood and I just feel like making some music, then yeah, I just go in there and be like, okay, I'm feeling this type of vibe right now. Or like I said, I might go in there already thinking in my head, I want to make this type of music.
When can we be expecting, your next project? Any special features you got, any dates when it comes to shows, anything like that?
So I've been expecting to drop my mixtape Certified in Person for a while now, but it's just been something that always been prolonged for me. I guess I'm a little bit more of a procrastinator, and also life hit, a lot of life changes. So I've been sitting on this project for 2 years. I'm looking to release it this year, 2020 for sure. No matter what, I don't give a fuck if it's the last day of the fucking year. I'm going to drop my mixtape this year, 100%.
So have you had any big things within your life that kind of slows you completely down within making music, to where it's just I don't want to do music no more, it's not my main focus? You see what I'm saying? Any of those type of dramatic experiences?
I always wanted to do music, but some things can slow it down. So we had a fire before, lost my cousin a year after that, money issues, all types of shit. So really big ones was a fire we had maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was about 3 or 4 years. That was pretty big because we had a lot of studio equipment and stuff in there. Which is alright, life goes on and everything. And then I lost my cousin the year after that. So it was just I'm not in the mood to do certain things type thing.
Yeah, they say, some of the dramatic experience actually encourages to make music sometimes. But, it's understandable when some people don't kind of feel that vibe after a dramatic experience. It takes a lot to push themselves to go to that next level and be I'm gonna have to put this pain that I just got and put it into some music.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will understand that. You see what I'm saying? And you should always continue to work. But what does the future look like for Mk Enzzo? What do you see yourself doing with the music? Or you see what I'm saying, do you plan on getting into anything else within the future if this doesn't work out for you the way that you actually wanted to? Or do you feel like this is the route 100% that you're taking, and you see what I'm saying, everything that you got is just riding on this plan?
Okay, so My future is definitely to be involved with music any type of way that I actually can. Even if that's coming down all the way to management or just to making beats, anything in that nature, because it's just something that I always like, I love, and I got an ear for it for sure, in my personal opinion. And I just really see myself being a mogul with music in some type of way. If that doesn't work out, just a great entrepreneur. I'll figure out something. Y'all gonna see me somewhere in some type of way. It's gonna be positive, truthfully. And I'm not here not to leave a mark. So I'm gonna be a legend one way, one how. I will, for sure.
Okay. But before we wrap up, man, I just want to ask you one more question. I want to know what you have to say to some of these kids that's growing up, man, and in some of these rough, predicaments, and they make music, but they're trying to figure out ways how to reach their talent out to the masses, and you know what I mean. What can you tell them to keep them inspired, and you know what I mean, to keep them pushing, and if they want to become an artist in this field?
For one, stay consistent. That's the biggest thing. I think a lot of people fail to realize that. Stay consistent. And for two, know what you put your money into. So if everybody look at everything you're doing in the streets, if you feel like you want to put a couple of your feet, like both of your feet in the streets, then understand that it's the same way with music. You put both of your feet in the streets, you're investing into yourself. You're putting money to go get this product to go sell to someone else. Same way in the music industry. You make your product instead, then you gather up the money to sell your product because it takes promotion. So consistent and promo if you want to be successful in this. And to stay inspired is to watch other people that came from the same environment that you came from. It's not like the same exact environment, at least something similar to it. You can always go back and look at the Jay-Z Marcy Project type of deal. And as you can see, this guy's $1 billion mogul. You can always go back and see a P. Diddy type of vibe. Like, everybody come from a certain source of terribleness in the rap music for some reason. It's like a big story, truthfully. And the reason why is because we're black and we got put in these type of situations. So we always got to climb and scratch and do the most unknown and unheard, and we normalize it. We make it normal. So truthfully, just always to be inspired, watch other people and take bits and pieces from them, take it and move forward with your concept on how you doing things.
Yeah.
And then as far as the music, if you want to stay on top, it's about being consistent and promo. I mean, of course the music matter, but as you can see, there's some people that's out there that's not good at all, but they big as fuck because of the simple fact they got a movement. And their movement will stand consistent in promo and whatever team that they have behind.
Right on.
Yep.
Man, you just got done watching What Y'all On, man.
Mk Enzzo in the motherfucking building, man.
Hey gang, what y'all on?